Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unplugged. I need to make sure that you can hear me. We're using a new platform, and I just want to make sure that everyone can hear. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, please, Fiona, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, great. Welcome everyone to another episode of Unplugged. We are so excited to have you guys join us. Please leave a message the moment you join in. Let us know where you're watching from, who you are. We want to know your name, what you do. We love to connect with you guys. So please, when you come in, just head straight to the comment section and let us know absolutely everything. I will be shouting you out all through the episode, but otherwise, again, welcome. Our guests are here, so we will touch base with them in a little bit, but I just wanted to say welcome. We are very, very honored, proud to have you join us today. Now, our discussion is going to be on merging passion and business. It's something I'm personally very connected to and that resonates for me because I'm those people. I'm those people who have been, who chased a passion and then just ran with it. So I'm hoping that conversations like this will allow young people to have a little bit more guidance as they are trying to step out and do some different things, as they're trying to step out and chase those dreams. In fact, you know what, just tell us in the comment section, what's your dream? Okay, what's that passion that you just want to chase, that you want to do, like you want that to be your job, you want that to be your everyday thing? Let us know. Let's share a little bit in the comment section as well. And the guests that we have today, I feel, are people who can really share from their point of view. They're very different, but also kind of the same. They're both passionate young people doing their thing, entrepreneurs, and we just want to know. We want to know how. How do we get these things that we are dreaming about and just like turn them into something substantial, okay? Something that can generate revenue, but also be a service to the community. How do we translate that into service as well as a source of living? So I am going to invite them to introduce themselves real quick. So we can start with Justus. Justus, welcome to our space.
Thank you very much, Fiona. It is a real honor being here, and I look forward to sharing a lot of inspiration with everyone on this call. I am Justus, Koojo, and I am the founder and CEO to the Ultimate Group of Companies. We are now a group of 10. Excited, but really, thank you very much. Again, as you'll all hear, these are things that are purely built on passion. We really transcend adventure, fitness, tourism, and now aviation. I'm excited to announce that we're actually hitting the aviation space as well. Again, I've always been very passionate about planes and aviation, and now back into the cockpits and really merging aviation into tourism, something I'm still very passionate about. Again, the end for me is always about community transformation. So as long as passion, business sense, and community impact are met in one equation, then we are good. Really, a quick brief about me. I am now a pilot, professional cyclist, business life and leadership coach. I suck for leadership. I suck for youth empowerment. I suck for sustainable businesses. And so today I'm excited to meet everyone and also to talk about the things that I am very, very passionate about. I look forward to meeting all of you and knowing all of you. And thank you very much, YouLead, and thank you very much, Fiona, my friend, for inviting me out here tonight. I'm very, very excited to touch base with all.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, what an amazing, I didn't know that you guys were venturing into aviation as well. That is fantastic. We are obviously very happy for you. You guys, let's send him some shout outs. Let's say congratulations, Ultimate Group, because that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, you're young, you just inspire us, by the way. But let me not yappa on. Let me give the lovely Rebecca a chance to speak. She is our other guest, and you guys just hold on for the good vibes. Hold on, Rebecca. Welcome, Karibuni. Go ahead, a little bit about yourself.
Hi, hi, Fiona. You're setting the bar so high. You're setting the bar so high. Um, you lead Summit, you lead organizing team, and everyone present. Thank you so much for this opportunity. This is a dream come true. When I discovered you lead and I joined you the first time as a delegate of the summit, it was always at the back of my mind, and I used to tell myself, I really hope for a day where, I will get to sit there and talk to everyone else who comes to lead. So this is a special moment for me. Ha. I am I'm not a science person, but I found a home in the other spectrum of things. I'm a lawyer by profession, and by virtue I had specific interests when I was growing up, and I have been able to build upon them. I loved speaking. I was always the student in class who was the teacher was not there. I was the one who was running the show when the English teacher was not there. So I have been able to develop those interests. I write short stories. I am an orator. I talk about different things. I am also in the political space, so I talk a lot about democracy, and I also participate in the political space. And I have a YouTube channel and a vibrant. I put a lot of work in my social media. So yeah, that is who I am in brief.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
that. Clearly, we have some multi-talented people on our hands here, so we have much, much, much to learn. Let me just shout out you guys real quick in the comment section. Hi, Sebastian. Hi, Mafunda. Welcome. I see. Oh gosh, I don't want to murder your name. Kerpa from Liberia. Forgive me if I've said your name wrongly, but you are so welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And let us know where you're from, guys. Let us know so that where you're from and what you do as well, by the way. This is where we actually find a lot of our connects. So please let us know what you do and we can connect. We can connect even outside this unplugged, okay? So we are going to get into our discussion. And my first question is just like, it's about starting, it's about beginnings, and I'm going to direct this to you, Justus. I mean, your journey is long, I'm sure, like there's a whole story, but like if you can tell us in not so many words, how did you start? And and as you're telling us how you started, I think it will be also great to just hear, a little bit about what works and what doesn't, when you've decided now, I want my passion to become my thing, my thing. So how do you do that? And what works, what doesn't? Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Fiona, and everybody else listening. So, in my own experience, and also something quite proven for now, as I do a lot of life leadership and business coaching, for some of the people I've worked with, we have seen and tested this, and we've basically seen it work. So, long story short, I think for me, I feel very, very lucky that at 19, I'm now 32, 33 this November, that as early as 19, I started to get in touch with myself, to truly start understanding that over and above everything else, one of the things I was most passionate about was community, serving my community. And so throughout school, after my very first degree, I started continuously thinking about the things that I would do that added value to my community. And certainly, really, as early as 19, just to take it back, I started a community-based organization and worked with women and vulnerable children. The opportunity here was to afford them education opportunities, health, and a life worth living, to say. We worked with homeless children who were very, very passionate about resettling and affording decent shelter above or over their heads. And so I take it down this path, and I'm going to explain why. Here, I'm trying to talk about my why, and that is why everyone else here, I would like to challenge you, or at least get you to think about your real calling in life. Okay, now I will be talking about three things, and this is number one. The very, very first thing I challenge everyone to do, and I'm speaking from my own experience, and that is where I also started, was connecting with myself. In other words, I actually put it down here. I wish I could project this, but unfortunately I can't. But the very, very first thing is you. Who are you and what is your vision? Where are you going? What journey, what life do you want to live? Okay. Now that gets you so grounded because it's a 360 world. Life is full of opportunities. Like you could be a lawyer, doctor, engineer, and there's success with all of that. You could also be a cyclist like myself, that is a whole career, and there's in mass opportunities. Like we can't start and end them over here. So in other words, when you connect, when you start to test your waters, okay, what speaks to me the most? Who am I and what do I want to do? And this suddenly comes about programs like mentorship. Exposure is the king word for me. Like if you can find exposure, go for it. If you want to expose your children as much as possible, please, because without exposure, then you will never know what you can do or not do, okay? In other words, I'm just trying to talk about you, okay? That is your journey. Explore your soul. How do you feel when someone says this? How do you feel when someone says that? So coming out of the exploration of you basically starts to structure you. And in the end, you have a vision or a purpose. Again, I am a sucker for purpose. A purpose-filled life is everything, okay? Now, once you at least align or know exactly what your purpose is, and I'll tell you mine straight up, and you'll see that everything that I do and say aligns with my own purpose. My purpose since 19 has been to inspire the next tier of global leaders and entrepreneurs. And today, everything that I do basically spans or revolves around that. So that is the first thing. Try as much as possible, know your purpose. There's a whole direction of mentorship and life coaches and online tools and resources that can guide you. And one of the things I'm also really happy, given this platform, Fiona, I have said that I would like to see how much more value to add to YouLead, because you guys are actually contributors to my own purpose, see, to inspire the next tier of global leaders and entrepreneurs, okay? This is exactly what YouLead, Fiona and your team and everybody else at the ESC do. So with that said, I am happy to stream, give time, pro bono time, to hoping anybody here that would like to align themselves to their true purpose or calling in life. Number 2 is set your values. This basically gives you skin, what is your character? Character is what is under your roots, and obviously personality comes above. The roots are your character, and personality is what we see on top. Now, if you don't have values that govern you, then you're most likely going to shoot your own best friend, your own family, anybody. Now, values are, I actually like to call them, they're almost your cabinet. They are almost your governor. These define who you are, and they basically list your character. Now, without these things, we all know, for instance, let's be real, let's think about a school, let's think about a university, let's think about a government, let's think about a home without values. What is likely to happen to that? Most definitely total crash, okay? Now, once you define your values, those are the things that you're every other day going to seek after. My own values are these, 5 of them. Number 1 is joy. I just want to show up happy. As an entrepreneur, you know that things don't come easy, but what I show up every day with is joy. I could be seated over or on the biggest bill possible, but I will show up happy still. Number 2 is sharing. Everything that I do, I must share. Everything that I have is not mine alone. And that is how I'm here talking to you today. I have something to share with you, and that is a value. If you are not a value, maybe I could have invoiced Fiona. I am about sharing. That is value number 2. Value number 3 is health. Healthy relationships, a healthy body, a healthy mind is all I pursue. Obviously, life gets toxic, and by default, I like to say life is full of crap. That is true. Every day, you're like doing your own thing, you're sticking in your online driving, and somebody gonna try to come at you. Life is full of crap, like I like to say. But really, the best opportunity you have is your own sanity. If you want that to eat you up and mess up your whole day, then let it be, okay? So healthy thoughts, healthy body, healthy relationships is my third value. Number 4 is self-growth. Every day I wake up to growth. Every day I'm seeking to be challenged. One of the things that's worked really best for me is vulnerability. Like I will tell a 14-year-old, I mentor so many of them, teenagers, 10-year-olds, I'm like, oh my God, I actually like your drawing skills. Oh my God, I'm actually fascinated by how much you have read about technology, you know, like these kids are very smart and clever. And so to show vulnerability, to learn a new skill, obviously from more even successful people, men and women in business and leadership, I reach out to these people and tell them, look, I seek your mentorship because you are living a very, very good example. And so that is self-growth for me. Aside from that, it's the obvious. It's a daily podcast. It's a daily inspiration, not quote. It is, what can I do? What can I learn today? That is value number 4. Value number 5 is basically adventure. To be up for the knowns and unknowns. I love that. If I know it so well, then it's not stimulating enough. So the knowns and unknowns of life. This is business. This is being out in nature. I love all of these things. I was only trying to tell you about my values. Now, just to give you a brief, I already talked about knowing you, and that is your purpose. Number 2, know your values. And number 3, this is last but not least, it is passion. List the things you are passionate about and tell me that you would do these things even for nothing. Then you're on the right track. You can do something for nothing, call it passion. One of the most dear examples to me as a Christian is the passion of Christ. Christ is willing to suffer for us. Indeed, he suffered. Now, if you can tell me all the things that you would do for nothing, then I will teach you how to make money out of it. And the grand question is, if you can do something for nothing, then how much more are you willing to do it if it's going to give you some returns? If you know what I mean, give me a shout. So absolutely. But really to say, really to say, that is where I started. I started there, take time and explore. Play with yourself, tickle you, touch here, touch there, feel what you feel when everything else comes, and then start to define your path. Then number 2, come in with your values. Number 3, what are the things you're most likely to do for nothing? Because I can tell you also, by the way, I'll actually give you a list of my own passions, okay? 1 is family and friends. Number 2 is adventure. I love to be out on the adventure. 3rd is cycling. And those of you that know me, I run, it's actually one of the most successful cycling companies in East Africa. I love aviation, and now I have built an aviation company. I'm actually out in Dubai now looking at planes. I don't have all the money, but I'm like, yo, how much are you selling this? Because I'm about to come back for it. Number 4 is leadership. I would suffer for leadership. I love leadership, and I'm on this call because it is a passion, okay? This is my contribution to my Africa, to the world, and it's something I would suffer for. Other thing is I love, and I would suffer for women and children for some reason. I don't know, but those 2 I feel are very vulnerable, and I would suffer for the. Number 8 is youth community transformation. I adore, I cherish working with youth. Number 9 is entrepreneurship. I have the stomach for it. And number 10 is self-love. I'm passionate about taking very good care of my own self, because if I don't do that, then I can't help it all. Thank you very much, and I'll be looking forward to asking some questions. Cheers.
All right, thank you for that. I feel like you touched so many. There's a lot of things there. I hope you guys are writing. You have a book somewhere. Your phone. But something that really stood out is just self-awareness. I feel like a lot of the things you said were pointing towards you need to be very self-aware, whether it's emotionally and in every other way, physically. You need to be aware of you in order to be able to, forge a path. For me, that came, later in my late 20s. I'm hearing Justus saying 19. I'm like, at 19, I was just chilling. But I'm glad that I got to that point, when I did, because our journeys are not the same. And hopefully even our journeys can help younger people just do it better. That you'll start sooner, you'll have better ways of doing it, you'll do it better than any of us ever thought or tried. So I hope that you guys have taken those notes. Self-awareness is something I definitely preach as well. So let me go to Rebecca. So I know that you're a lawyer like me. And I feel like one of the reasons you connected so well is like I just understand that many things. I get that. I know doing this and doing that and doing another thing. I understand that so well. And I wonder, I think something that probably other young people also would like to hear is, have you found that, because I know you love law, you love blogging, you love writing, like you love all these different things you do, but have you found that, allowing yourself to do even more things you love makes a difference? Like, has it changed your experience, your experience of working and of living, as opposed to when perhaps you were, but now you have extended yourself to these different things? Do you find that has made things better, easier? What has that been like? Oh, it looks like we might have lost her there.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Okay. Actually, we'll be back in a bit. We'll just give her a little bit of time to get back to us. But okay, maybe what we'll do actually, as we wait for her to come back, we can go to our trivia. Yeah, so we always do some trivia just in case you're new. We always, oh, you're back. Hi, are you good?
No, I'm good. I'm sorry. If I got the question, okay. The question was my experience when it comes to things I love that are outside the legal box, and what has impacted when it comes to me as a person. First of all, Julius, thank you so much for all you
Justus.
had to say. Justus, you had a lot, but to just add on something that Justus said when it comes to our for me, I would just add on the importance of networking. Networking is really important, and finding like-minded people. To the question that you asked me, what is my experience when it comes to doing things? First of all, I just like you, Fiona, I was chilling as a normal legal student, finishing class, going to the library, meeting up with friends, going back. But then I was thrust into student leadership, and I got now to know what high level leadership was. I got to know what it means to be a lawyer in front of people, and world viewing you as a lawyer. There's a level of pressure to it. Understand that now, now we are told that you are the young people and the future depends on you. And now you understand that now I am the leader who now the future depends on. So that was also a new space for me. And after that, now it got to a point to myself, what is life beyond this? Now that's when I started asking myself, what talents, what skills do I have that are needed for the niche that I am in? I was very good at writing. I could write a good story at home, great points. I loved standing in front. First of all, I went to a lot of events, and as I went to more and more, I noticed at some point that we kept on talking about this over and over. And honestly, I got bored, and I was like, okay, now what do I do? And I felt that the event was nice. The organizers did a good job. Probably the MC or the moderator, there's something. Had he said something, or I didn't like the fact that the was 60 years old and we were talking about challenges that young people, and always felt that if a young person was moderating this event, people in the room would, they would own the conversation. So it started there. That is where my journey started. What it's now for me, my experience is it's not easy, because sometimes you will wake up and you will remember working in law firms. They'll come and tell you how boring it is, but at the back of your mind, all that you do is you have to give your friends. People come to look for legal service, and you pass on to your friends. So for me, doing the things I love, I'll tell you, and anyone who's in this conversation, it's not easy. Sometimes you will feel like not doing the right thing, but at the end of the day, you need to be really kind. That I have learned over a long, I've been through experience. You need to be kind to yourself. But then the other thing is believing in the beauty of your dream and understanding that we are young and things take time. Just like education, it takes time. So being kind to yourself and giving yourself time and having courage to know that you need to be your first cheerleader before the world can only is really important.
Absolutely.
I love that you guys are both talking so much about self-love. Even without saying self-love, it's so evident that there's a lot of pouring you need to do for yourself before you can have anything to give anybody else, or any job, or any passion, or any whatever. There's a lot you need to pour into you first. So thank you for sharing that. I think, just to add something, I think that it's been very similar for me. There's difficulty, but I think that passion, in a way, I don't say cushions, it doesn't make the difficulty nice, but it does keep you going, because you have like Justus was talking about, just like the vision is clear. So even when it's difficult, you feel like, but there's a place I'm going, so let me fix this. I just keep going. Okay, so we're going to go into a little trivia session. We always do just a little bit of trivia, keep things relaxed, because that's what this space is like. So we have just a couple of trivia questions, and if you would like to participate, feel free to raise your hand or comment very quickly when you hear the question. And yeah, that's basically it. So let me get into the trivia. Just a minute. All right. So this first one is for my people who like fiction. I realized we haven't done like something on fiction, and I know my people are out there who love fiction like me. So question one is, how many Harry Potter books and movies are there? Books and movies, because they're different. There's a different number of books and different number of movies. So anybody? But then the guests can take part, you guys. Don't fear. Go ahead. Anyone in the comments on Facebook? Does anyone know? I refuse to believe that there's no one who knows this. I've refused. No. I cannot be the only fiction person who dies in these fantasy books. No. Anybody? Does anybody know?
Most probably you are. Most probably you know.
Whole place. All right. I think we have to allow. I think I literally see. Okay.
Oh no, Jeff say something.
Jeffrey, well done. There are 7 books. That is true. Does anybody know how many movies there are? Because they're different. Jeffrey is correct. Thank you, Jeffrey, for not leaving me alone. Okay, so there are 7 books and 8 movies. Jeffrey, if we're in the same country, I'll send you like some data, something. Unfortunately, we're in the same country. All right. Actually, Jeffrey's a former, he was here earlier this year, last month. Okay, so the next question is, a little bit of world, some international leadership type thing. So which country has assumed presidency of the UN Security Council for September 2021? And yes, they change every month. So who is the president of the UNSC September 2021? Anyone? Does anyone know this one? Anybody who keeps there, keeps, tabs on these things? Because I can't even lie to you that I knew. Those are lies. I did not know until I was researching for this. So if anybody knows the question, today guys are quiet. You guys are always jumping on this. Anyone? Okay, guys, I'm going to help you become 1% better today and give you the answer.
Okay.
Because it's me, I learned it today. And this month it is Ireland. Yeah, every single month they change. I learned it. I was 2 years old when I learned this. So we're all becoming better together. All right. Oh, I see Ivan. I see Sebastian said Ireland. You were like 1 minute too late, but I see you, and thank you. So the last one is, for you guys who know animals and all of that. So which mammal does not have vocal cords? I want to think of like a hint I can give you. It is, but I feel like if I tell you, you'll just, okay, it's tall. It is a tall animal and has no vocal cords, apparently. And it is a mammal. Think tall animals.
Okay.
Tall, just the first tall animal you think of is the one, that first one. You guys, not even August, like literally, the first tall animal you're thinking of, it's that one.
I'm thinking of a bear because you're very particular of it being a mammal.
What is a giraffe?
Let's hear the answer.
Jeffrey, did you Google? It's a giraffe. Actually, they have no vocal cords, apparently. I didn't know either. I see Stanley also got it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, turns out giraffes with all that neck, no vocal cords. And when I saw it, I thought, yeah, they don't make a sound. I've never thought about it. Strange, you just never notice until right? All right, so that was a little trivia question. We have all become 1% cleverer today, at least from that. So I'll just get back to our conversation. Let me say hi Epiphany, welcome. And Jeffrey as well, I hadn't welcomed you. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you. And guys, let us know where you're from, where you are, and let us know. I'm in this country. This country. All right. So let me take the conversation back to our topic. So let me get back to Justus. I know that you are very passionate about service. You even mentioned that in just like the things you value. And I was wondering, like, why would you say that service is such an important factor to include in your work? As you're choosing a passion, whatever it is, why would you say, like, as you're focusing, as you're saying, this is my aim, why should service be something that's very primary? Because obviously a lot of us just be thinking, how do I make money? And it's okay. But I mean, even for me, I know that over time you realize there needs to be more than just that. I mean, it's good, it's great, but there needs to be so many different levels to what you're doing. So why is service important? Why should we be making that like a focus?
Thank you very much, Fiona. And again, everybody else tuned in here, thank you for making time. It is a real honor meeting you all. So I think I will approach it 2-3 ways. One is going to the principles of, as a Christian, really. I would like to bank it there. Service is everything, The Lord himself served us. And so for us to serve one another and to make each other's better, I think is only a given, or it's the most obvious thing to do. But really taking it away from that to industry, to real life, I think that, as you all know, that corporates have the social responsibility, for instance. I had always also wondered why that was such a big thing. But look, what is it being the biggest bank, being the biggest telecom, when only that portion of your market can afford your services, okay? Now, for you to go back and build a school, for you to go back and improve hospitals for people to actually thrive, then you actually polishing your own business. You're actually creating a future, you're securing a future market, future consumers for your product or service. That is how I look at it, like in black and white. The other third way to approach it is it's a personal value. You know, if that is something that sits with your own values, then you can apply it. I appreciate that some people may know you may want to bank on the future of your business, because like I said, you want everyone else to afford it, you're securing your own future customers. You may also want to approach it, based on the godly principle, but really third, I think it also sits most with you as an individual, the person, if you have the time or ways to actually serve others. And I believe that there is no excuse, there's not one excuse anybody of us has not to serve, because service is at all levels, every day, every minute, every hour. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Fiona.
Yeah, that does make sense. I think what I'm hearing is, it's, like how people say pay it forward, you have this good thing, so they do something good for the next person, and they do it for the next person and the next person, and it just generally makes for a better communities, better families, better everything. So it's such, I think, like, it might be something that we ignore when we are starting out, and we're just thinking, Banange, I need my passion to make money. I need my passion to just be, I need to be a celebrity, and we just forget that service aspect. And so thank you for highlighting it so well. So another question I'd like us to get into is the reality, because I mean, entrepreneurship is difficult. It's highs and lows. It's, sometimes I think it looks so glamorous, or people romanticize it a bit. I find that sometimes people are like, but for you work at home, mama, da 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 da. And I'm like, but that isn't necessarily all there is. I mean, it might be a little perk, but there's so many things that, go in there. So let me ask Rebecca, what are some of, like, those things that you'd like to tell your younger self, as you are stepping in? What are some of those difficult things that you would say, listen, young Rebecca, these things are going to happen and they're going to be difficult, and you'll just have to strap down and deal with them? What are some of those difficult things?
I think I'd tell myself in a space where I am the one who pays myself so that I can pay my bills. The one thing that I would tell any young entrepreneur who's starting off is, first of all, business will not come every day. You will go for a week without having business, and then you'll go for another week, which will be crazy, because people will call you expecting you to deliver the next day, not considering even if you have work at hand at that time. So I tell there's that irregular flow of work. That is one. And then the other thing I'd tell my younger self when starting off probably 2 years ago, I tell myself that there is a lot of self-work that I need to do to improve my idea of money. I need to improve my idea when it comes to probably budgeting for myself, such things. I tell myself two things. One, business will not come every day, and sometimes it will be it comes in, so that instability will be there. And something else is that self-improvement is going to be a constant journey, and especially when you're starting off, there's a lot of things to learn.
Yeah. Ooh, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
A lot of
so clearly.
Yeah.
Pardon? Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of something else. I would add on that of a lot of things to learn, a lot of short courses to take on your own with your own personal initiative. Yeah.
Yes. 100%. I mean, that's actually that last thing, because I'm constantly having this this discussion with people when they get shocked that law is what I studied, because you will find me doing this a bunch of different things, and I'm like, listen, I went to the school of YouTube. yeah, and taught myself some things. I went to the school of YouTube and just taught myself some things. I've taken courses of, it's such a continuous value addition process. No matter, like, passion is such a great place to start, but you do need to pour. You do need to pour into yourself because the world is competitive. Lots of people are doing similar things. What is going to make you stand out? If you are a vlogger, are you going out there to learn that editing such a video will be more amazing, So yeah, that value addition is a constant thing. Okay, so let me go to Justus. I mean, you've been able to build, such a sustainable and, let's be honest, big group of companies, and it's just so amazing. And I think that one really practical thing that we would love to hear from you, learn from you, is when you're starting out, how do you figure out what's scalable? Because of course sometimes you come in with like a billion different ideas, but how do you figure out like what's scalable? Like how do you, what does that look like?
Thank you very much, Fiona. I think after the passion grows and after the vision is caught and understood, one of the most important things really is to do the market validation, because you don't want to try build a castle on water without any foundation. So you really, really must do the market validation of your product or service. That's very, very critical. So I believe and trust that once you have aligned the model that you feel fueled and juiced about delivering, then it is, talk to your family, friends, and peers. Like, you can prototype that thing before you spend so much. Just go in and, like, for instance, actually, I will drop it now. We launched a beautiful app this Independence Day, and we have tested, we are still testing, and we have yet to even get more people testing the platform. What do you think is right? How do you think we can improve it before we drop it out the cart, before we actually spend so much more on the distribution of the app? So really, in black and white, I trust and believe that once the vision is clear, once you have talked to some people about it, I also find that most of us want to keep or hold things so dear to us as if everybody else is going to take it. That is true. Ideas are copied and taken, but no one is going to take your thing. Like, I like to call businesses our babies. Like, no one can take your identity. That is you. We all can sell tomatoes, but my tomatoes are going to be Justus's tomatoes, and Fiona's are going to be Fiona's, and Stanley's are going to be his, Ivan's are going to be his. So out of that, of course, validate the model, and then, that validation informs the scale. And then with the passion driven behind it, I promise that your story is going to be unique and people buy your story as well. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'm hearing, the first point that you talked about is like surveying, like you need to figure out what it is that people want.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's an important one for sure.
Very, very, very important. Yes.
Yeah.
And I can't emphasize that enough. I can't emphasize that enough, else you call it a hobby. A hobby is something that you love and you want to spend on it. So otherwise, if it's a business, it's solving a real-time problem, but also making business sense, then it's got to serve. It's got to be a solution to a problem. It's got to serve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, solution to a problem. I also like what you were saying about the tomatoes, because I strongly believe that as much like so many people do very similar things, right? But there's space for everyone. And I think I believe that one of the reasons that is because we cannot do things the same way. There's a million, let me talk about a space I understand a bit. I mean, for example, on Instagram, there's a million people creating beautiful content and thriving and doing really, really well. And it's so different. But, it doesn't stop the next person from doing something very similar, but in their way. Whatever flavor you bring is uniquely you. So don't feel like, the market is so saturated, I can now not be a vlogger because... No, what you're bringing to the table is very unique. No one can do what you do the way you do it. I'm sure no one comes on stage and talks the way Rebecca talks. No. It's just her special Rebecca spices that she puts in her work. All right. So
Yeah.
let me ask something else. Because Rebecca, I know you do, because you do so many varied things, like, there's, you're an orator, you're a writer, you're also a lawyer, you do like these things. And okay, they're related, but they're also different. So how do you balance? I know it's a difficult question, but like, how do you, I think that one of my fears, sometimes with doing various things, is how do I ensure, or at least try to not ignore one thing completely, because then just focus on one thing, then the other thing is suffering. How do you do that? How do you play, and manage to do everything without making something suffer?
Well, at the end of the day, something must suffer. That is, something has to suffer. For me, what I do, two things mostly, is one of them, I plan. I know what is to be done on what day. So probably if I'm writing a specific days, and then if I need to do my legal studies, I plan for it. But then the other big thing is delegating. Delegate. For something like vlogging, it's up to people. There's the one who's behind the camera, and then there's the one who's editing. So for me, I need to come up with the content and show up and shoot. Probably if being an orator, now there, or if I'm moderating, when I get there, I don't try to be everywhere. I try to delegate and see who here will help me there. So it makes things easier. So first of all, it goes a long way. I'm able to know this is supposed to be done by this time, so that also does don't catch up with me. And then two, I delegate a lot. I do where I can. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear. I definitely.
Yeah.
I
Also,
hear that.
self-talk.
Uh-huh.
Just to finish, self-talk is very important. I don't tell myself this is too much. I just know I love and I can do it. So I never see it as too much work.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually a nice way to end that.
Yeah.
Because the mind is such a powerful thing. You tell yourself this and that, and that's what it is. If you tell yourself I cannot, then say it's a slippery slope, and you just go down that road. I feel like Justus also wants to say something about team, because you talked about delegating. I don't know, Justus, I mean, you have teams working with you. Do you want to also say a little bit about why that's so valuable as you're pursuing what you've chosen?
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Totally in agreement with everyone. I mean, if a vision is only with you, then it's only as good as just another day, I trust. If you want to build a sustainable business, I like to call them generational businesses, then it's gotta be the first people to buy your vision are your team. Like, you must try as much. I'm still learning because you are chasing so much that you forget the cleaner, you forget the drivers, those guys are all part of the vision, and everyone gotta sell the vision as well as you who want it to be told, because they are the people at the front line. Security folks are the people welcoming in everybody else, whereas it is scripted in your manuals and your company vision that service, exceptional customer experiences should be felt when anybody comes to Ultimate or your business. If the security guard doesn't know or hasn't bought into that, then they can trash or treat the guest however, and it's possible then to get to the other end of what you're looking for as an entrepreneur. So teams are very, very important. The one thing I learned early in life was delegating. Let me tell you guys, when I ran this beautiful community-based organization, we basically supported over 300 children that were taken off the streets. We settled them into a new home, built an orphanage. And I remember that for me, I learned so hard what the power of delegation was. I would be like trying to make sure that the kids' food is ready. At the same time, I'm trying to make sure that the medicals are ready. At the same time, I'm trying to make sure they have books for class. They are playing football. It was impossible. I have gotten to learn the power of
Yeah.
delegation, the hard way. Now, as it is, I trust. As a matter of fact, I don't even truly know what's going on. I trust that there's people out there. The team has bought the vision, and I'm on the move. Understand clearly what I have to do or deliver. Everybody else does, and so we all meet at the top, at the end of the objective.
Yeah.
So I can't emphasize it better. Thank you very much.
Fiona, just to add on what has just said, of it all, we are trying to make our ideas scalable, okay? And for them to be scalable, again, we need to have the mindset of creating jobs. You know, we need to pay for the future. If you're starting something now, at least you should be able to say 5 years down the line, I have employed 30 young. So by you delegating, you're also now opening that platform of job creation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a really, yeah, that's a really good point, because yeah, as we do these things, we do have to have that in mind. That's where we should be heading. So I think that there is a young person watching who is learning some things, because you know these things just don't occur to you sometimes. And that's why mentorship as well is so important. You know, having all those, you know, having a guiding voices that are just showing you the basics, because no matter what industry you're in, there are basics that cut across. Okay, so we've actually gone through quite a lot of it, and sorry, just a moment. All right, so we're actually coming to pretty much towards the end of our time, but I'd like you guys to just share like a closing remark to the young person who is watching, and you know, they have a dream and they want it to be their thing. They don't want it to be the thing that they just keep in their mind. They want to bring it into real life. So just whatever it is that you feel that person needs to hear. You just go ahead. Justus, you can start.
First of all, again, I am grateful connecting with all of you. Fiona, as a guest, I'm unable to share chats, my chats with everybody else, but I would have liked to connect with everyone else on the respective social media platforms. Maybe you will help me with that.
No problem. What we will do, Franklin, please, if you can share I'm going to send him the links and he can just share your links.
Yes,
so
I can also just perhaps do it here actually.
Okay.
Or however, yeah, I will do it. I'll post it after my remarks. Yeah, really, I think that the most important thing, this is how I like to say it straight up. It is unlawful, it is criminal for any of us to live a life under that cap. Like for you not to hit your fullest potential, to be honest, I find that prosecutable. Like you should be taken to jail, actually. Honestly, in my own opinion, okay? But with that said, on the brighter side, I want to encourage you to dream. Without a dream, I feel so bad. When I'm driving through the suburbs, villages, anywhere, I am so passionate. Sometimes I cry over, like wondering, how can these kids, how can these youth hit the cap of what their true calling in life is, okay? So really encourage you to dream, and dreams don't just happen, dreams follow through. You have to do something, you have to build brick by brick. The other day I was at the Burj Khalifa, against the tallest building in the world. In the story of it, the kings here say, nothing is impossible. According to them, nothing is impossible. Dubai is a desert, UAE is a desert, but to them, nothing is impossible. I would like to share those words with you because there's real life examples, you know, like looking at everything else around you. I want you to imagine what even a unit as, you know, technology on our phones, in our houses, the cars, in the aerospace, what that meant to have come from a dream into a reality and something that's transformational and adding value to people's lives on a daily. So your case is, what are you going to do? What is the next solution you are coming up with? What's the next problem you're solving? And how do you actually scale that to something meaningful? Last but not least, if it is only for you, unfortunately, it's not good enough. You gotta be thinking about others. How do you impact others? How do you not only thrive in life, but how do you thrive with everybody else? Aside from that, entrepreneurship is a great place, but really, really tough thing. So man up, just show up, show up, show up, turn up, turn up, turn up. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much. You keep it real and you live the lives you want to. Thank you very much.
Amen. Such a great closing remark. Thank you so much. All right. So Rebecca, go ahead and do your thing. Do your thing.
What I would tell anyone who has a dream and does not is start where you are and start with what you have. No matter how small it is, start where you are, start with what you have. Dream big. No one ever died because of dreaming big. Dream. And lastly, work on improving yourself every day. At least before you close your day to go to bed, ask yourself, what new today, or how have I improved myself towards achieving it? So with whatever you have, if you have a dream of owning the biggest restaurant, all that you can do is probably prepare food and sell in your apartment or your block and the next one. Start there. And then you can scale it up as we go along. And then incorporate everything that you have said as we are having this conversation. But where you are with what you have.
Yeah. What can I even add? Thank you guys for sharing those nuggets, those important things from your journeys, from your just from everything that you've built and the things that you're continuing to build. Justus has actually sent all his info here, but because we are closing, I think it will be more effective for us to share all of this on our platforms instead. So we shall just share this on our platforms so that people can be able to find you. Guys, I don't think I need to tell you that you should really take advantage of these resources of people who are more experienced, or people who are willing to share from what they have already done and what they are continuing to do. So we will be sharing that, or we'll be sharing those on our platforms so that you guys can find them. Actually, even now, even if you go to our pages, you'll find that we tagged in all the artwork and amp up to this session, so you'll be able to find these guys. And feel free to DM us if you have any questions, or if you want to be connected and maybe you missed those tags, just let us know and we will get back to you. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from Liberia, Burundi. We are so grateful that you guys took some time and just shared this evening with us. We hope that it was beneficial. It was something that, got you amped up, for your journey, wherever you are in it, whether you're starting or you are going. You're already gone, but you're just looking for a little bit more inspiration. And thank you again so much to our guests, Justus and Rebecca. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate you just giving, freely like that. It's something we cannot thank you enough for sparing this time to just spend with us and young people that just want to do things and just want to get advice and network. So thank you again, everybody. We're here every Thursday. Feel free to join us for the different conversations that we have. Right now, we are on the journey to the YouLead Summit 2021 in November, and we're very excited. We're going to be talking about the YouLead Summit like every day, all the time on our platforms. So yeah, for all that information, follow us on social media, and this is where we are closing. Thanks again, guys. Good night, good morning, wherever you are. Bye.
Bless you all. Cheers. Bye.
Bless you.
Thank you.
MC Benny.
Come on, East Africa.
Ha!
It's a party.
Tell them.